George Santos is a disgusting politician who thought it was a good idea to go on Matan Podcast where he was ruthlessly mogged and shat on endlessly. If you utterly detest American politicians the way that I do, then you're going to love this video. Also, I know Too Lazy to Try already covered this topic, but I really wanted to talk about it too, so just go ahead and call me 3 Lazy 3 Try in the comments down below. Also, the title is the opposite of what you'd expect because usually it's the miners getting destroyed by American politicians on a private island, but Matan did God's work and showed this lying sack of shit who's boss. I am so excited to talk about this podcast episode and what transpired after the fact, so without further ado, let's hop right into it. To begin with, the episode starts off with chaos immediately when George Santos is brought into the set and right off the bat does not have a place to sit. Meanwhile, the co-host is our boy Viral Flooring and Mike, who's in the middle of listening to music looking more malnourished than ever. He's probably malnourished because this fat piece of shit George Santos took all the food from him. I mean, Jesus Christ, look at this guy's chin. His face looks rounder than Big J. Okerson's belly. Anyway, we eventually get George introducing himself and then Matan begins the questions. Matan wastes no time before asking George a question about his crimes, implicating how he will likely be going to prison.
Considering everything you've done and your upcoming time in jail, wouldn't it save everybody time and money?
I have never been to jail.
Upcoming time in jail.
Okay.
Wouldn't it save everybody time and money for the government to blow your head off?
I mean, sure. Go ahead, do it. Do you want to volunteer?
I don't know, because I know you're like a politician, so I don't know we're saying yes, we'll let...
It's FAFO. It's like fuck around and find out. Who cares?
Well, what do you mean?
I mean, I'm just saying, why don't you fuck around and find out?
Oh, I'm not suggesting I would do anything. I'm just, if I was given the opportunity by the government...
Why ask for permission while you can ask for forgiveness?
Then I will go to jail like you.
No! Look at Luigi Mangione. He's a superstar.
Yeah, but he's in jail.
This question aged very well because George Santos is currently in prison and he was arrested pretty much right after the podcast with Matan. Then Matan has George move a few times and instead of moving the mic stand to the other table, he just rips it out and lets George hold it for the rest of the show. Then Matan asks him questions about the president pardoning him, his ethnicity, and also confronts him on several other lies along the way. Throughout the episode, George maintains a cocky and passive-aggressive demeanor and Matan starts to turn up the heat a little bit when he steals George's glasses.
Do you think there's ever been a single president in history who would have pardoned you?
I don't know that. What? That's a random question. It's overly broad. I know. I met one president.
Trump?
Yeah.
He certainly wouldn't have pardoned you. Well,
You don't know that.
Well, I do know that. He's not pardoning you.
You don't know that.
You think he's going to?
I didn't say that. All right. Can you interest me because it's getting very
You're
bored.
getting bored?
Yeah, I'm very bored. No, don't touch.
Can I have it?
No, give me my glasses.
No, it's okay.
Please give me my glasses.
I wanted to steal it like you stole the money from that guy with the dog.
I stole no money from a person with a dog. Put my glasses back.
You killed his dog.
I did not steal money.
I will put your glasses back because I don't know
Put it back.
what will be the consequences of physically stealing from a former politician who's going to jail.
Okay.
But
All right, let's
you
go.
killed that guy's dog and you know it.
Yeah, I did. Sure.
Do you want to respond to that?
No, I refuse to.
Why? That one's just too crazy that you stole from a sick dog?
It's just
You don't
not
even want to
true.
entertain it?
It's just not true.
Was the guy just a liar?
Very, very repetitive. No new material.
You can see George really start to get upset here, and it's a treat to see Matan slowly dig the knife deeper and twisting it into this guy's big fat fucking stomach. This is the turning point where George really starts to try and dig back at Matan, but has no success at all. Matan just keeps finding openings in this guy's guard and smoking him. Like this clip of Matan asking George if he's trans.
You're really disappointing me right now.
You thought I was going to ask you stuff that wasn't about this?
Oh, no. I just thought you were going to be more intelligent, a little more in debt, you know. The
In debt?
accent gives it the Einsteinian vibe that I was expecting.
If you became president, would you be the first lady every couple of days?
That's actually funny.
That one you liked? That doesn't go for the first lady thing. And you already look like one.
Oh, thank you.
Are you a transvestite?
No.
Okay,
funny.
but not offensive.
No, I don't. I have thick skin, clearly.
Yeah, you're a pretty fat guy.
Yeah, exactly.
This line is great, and we would end up seeing it once again later on. Matan really is cooking this fat pig. Then George starts to get aggressive towards Matan when he tries to interrupt him, and he even refuses to shake his hand. And this would be the beginning of the end for George, as he quickly realizes he does not have control of the situation he's in. Then Matan confronts George about buying fake engagement on his YouTube channel.
You know, when people say you're supposed to lie as a politician, they don't mean lying about every arbitrary aspect of your life.
They're costing you inflation. They're costing you all the other bullshit
Yeah,
that
but-
lines their pockets. And don't interrupt me when I'm fucking speaking. Wouldn't you rather somebody who lied about, I don't know, college versus somebody who lies about, we're not going to
Oh, you
war?
admitted it?
And I did a long time. I did 2 days afterwards. No, I'm not shaking your hand.
You recently started a podcast that's doing so bad, you or someone on your team started buying likes on it. Did you know that it'll only hurt the videos more?
I'm not away. I don't buy likes.
I said I didn't want to put you specifically, so you or someone on your team.
Nobody, from my understanding, is buying likes on the podcast.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
One of the videos I saw that 10,000 views, 5,000 likes, 2 comments. One of them was you, and then
Me?
or maybe it was a guy pretending to be you, and then one guy said, "Why isn't he in jail?" That doesn't make sense for 5,000 likes. 1 like every 2 views is just, that doesn't happen ever.
You're a fan. Oh my God.
I did my research.
Honored. Oh, you're a fan.
You're
looking at my likes. You're looking at my comments.
Well, I'm going on your show after, so I wanted to get familiar.
Pants on fire.
For context, episode 108, titled Joe Francis Girls Gone Wild, has 15k views and 5k likes, which really doesn't happen on YouTube ever. At the time of the episode, it had 11k views and 5k likes, which really doesn't ever happen. Even now, where it has 15k, that's still pretty unheard of. The only way that could happen is if everybody watching the video liked, which I don't think has ever happened in history, unless you guys want to prove it wrong real quick by leaving a thumbs up on this video. But seriously, this is unheard of. So it's glaringly obvious that somebody bought fake likes on this episode, but George can't admit to this because it would make him look like even more of a phony than he already is. So either somebody on George's team at his podcast production did it, or he did it himself and is pleading ignorance on Matan's show. Eventually the episode ends and Matan wraps it up by shitting on George one final time.
Do they call you long neck because your neck is so long? Wait, that's for the next guest, long neck. Get the hell out of here, you stupid liar.
With this episode ending, Matan would later be a guest on George's podcast because I guess this guy has some type of humiliation fetish, and this would end up being one of the most chaotic interviews Matan has ever done. But it's fucking hysterical the entire time. In the beginning, Mike trolls George and his co-host so hard that he almost gets into a fight with them. In fact, at one part, she even threatens to fight Matan, and Matan makes one of the funniest comments I've ever heard him say.
If you come over here, I'm gonna, you know what?
You said no touching.
I can touch. You can't touch
I'm gonna
me.
get physical
Please
too.
get up.
Do you think I'm scared of you, little boy?
No, but I think I'm not scared of you
think
either.
that? Stand up.
I'll fight a woman.
Get up. Get up.
Are you air punching a woman?
I would like to punch her for real in the face.
God, that's hilarious. Then later on, the co-host tries to outwit Matan at a game of the wits and loses horribly. Seriously, like the whole time she's trying to find an angle to nitpick and tease him, but it ends up backfiring for her.
Why did you stand up like that? Well, who raised you? Mom or dad? Are you single mother probably?
Single guy, like just
Like
by
who
myself.
raised you though? Because
Okay.
you stood up to a woman. Like I just have to know. I gotta
You
know.
stood up to my body here. I mean, what do you think?
So you're defending your guy that he was in the wrong.
By the way,
Your
I don't
friend
mean this
was in
with
the
any offense.
wrong.
I don't even know if you are a former man. So, to be completely honest with you,
Did you just say she's a man?
she might be. I don't know. I didn't ask yet, and she looks a little like it.
So he did that before with another comic that was on his god awful
course,
podcast that
yeah.
I watched. So he
He
has
just
this
went
thing
on
where
it.
he. Do you think
By
calling
some
them,
social standards?
Do you think
Not by
inferring that a
mine.
person is trans and you don't know if they are or not? Do you think that's
So how do you
rude?
approach that subject? By going,
Or
are
do you think if like, by inferring something about a person? Do you
How
think
can I
that's
ask
rude?
you? Are you a dude?
That's not something that I think you should know. You should need to know. That's not an
Just
important
ask
thing.
because of your facial structure.
That's not something that's important for you to know, though.
It is important.
But do you
We're doing
think
an
that is
interview.
rude
I just
by
met you today.
inferring?
She tries to play it off initially, but she gets really put off by this, and it's so goddamn funny to watch. She continues looking for an angle to make fun of Matan at, not realizing that she's making him more powerful by feeding the troll, which is surprising. I mean, think about it. Based on George's big fat belly, I figured he'd be the only person she would be feeding. Anyway, then Matan brings up the fake engagement again, and it makes for a very entertaining segment of the podcast.
He's a bad liar.
Okay.
You're buying likes. You're down the drain. Are you the one doing it? You're buying likes
He's
on it?
accusing us of buying likes.
No, I'm
and
just
views.
asking. But I have a feeling it's true.
It's not.
Okay, why didn't
Had
any
to
of
have
them
done
comment?
I don't know.
Dude,
Wow,
I don't comment
what a
on YouTube. I
coincidence.
watch YouTube all day long. I don't think I've ever commented.
How about you have your guy here on the computer look up what the like to comment ratio is on YouTube, divide that, and then you'll see that you're a liar.
The whole time George Santos is trying to use his passive aggressiveness to get a rise out of Matan, it just falls flat because Matan doesn't care what this big tub of lard thinks about him. This whole podcast is a masterclass on trolling and comedic improv from Matan, and it's a real treat to watch, especially now knowing this smug piece of shit has been arrested and is rotting in a prison cell. Maybe his former male co-host will bring on somebody interesting now to run the show. Perhaps Matan, Evan, and Harlan Williams can have their own show on this previously shitty podcast. Anyway, this was a fun podcast to watch and talk about on the channel, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Every now and then, it's just fun to enjoy a show and talk to you guys about it and why I liked it so much. If you guys want to support me more, then you can become a channel member or subscribe to my second YouTube channel. Other than that, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new. That's all I got for you guys today. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.